Hi witches! So today we're going to be talking about the tools that are often used in witchcraft. Now I want to caveat this video with you 100% do not need any of this in order to practice witchcraft. All you need is yourself, your intention, and your faith. I feel like there's this culture on the internet that really perpetuates this feeling that you need to have certain things or practice a certain way in order to be witch enough, but that's super, I just want to dispel that. No one, okay, including myself, can tell you exactly how to practice. So with all that in mind, let's here's some basic tools that may aid you in your craft. I'll tell you the ones that I have as we go through them, and you know, we can talk it out in the comments. So the first tool is the Athames. So this is a double-edged or double-bladed triangular ritual knife, usually with a black handle, and it isn't actually used to cut anything, right? So it's only used for directing energy, and it is used to represent the element of fire usually. I think I mentioned back in my crystal video I want an obsidian one, so it's all black. That's one of my witch goals for this year, is to find one that I really like. So it doesn't have to be actually sharp, it's just used as a I don't know, symbolic way to cut through energy or to cast a circle. Bells are used a lot in cleansing, so sound can be really powerful to use to cleanse your space, and it also can signal the beginning and end of a ritual. I don't really have one. I don't know, I feel it kind of brings me out of the trance or whatever. When I'm working, I'm kind of, in that headspace, and a sudden noise will just kind of take me out of it. So I don't really have one, but it can be really useful, especially if you're in a coven or something. Book of Shadows, we have that. I have that. I know we talked about this in video 2, right? So go ahead and check that one out if you want more info on any of it. Anything to do with having a Book of Shadows. But a Book of Shadows, or grimoire, to recap, is a journal or notebook that a witch writes down all of their notes, right? So any ritual stuff, any correspondences, anything that has to do with their working, anything like that. Next one is a boline or boline. I've never heard it said, I've only read it in books. So a boline is a curved knife, usually almost like a sickle if you think about it, that is usually used for cutting herbs and has a white handle on it. I have seen a lot of Wiccans using this, not so much witches, and I think it's a Wiccan thing. They're really beautiful, the ones I've seen. They have all these engravings and stuff on them, but I don't know if I said it. It usually has a white handle, and it is physically used to cut things, not energy. So 2 different knives for that. Okay. So the next one is the broom, which I think is kind of an iconic figure in witchcraft, right? Is to have a witch's broom. But this broom is specifically used for clearing and cleansing out energy. So you're not actually going to sweep anything up with it. The broom, or sometimes it's called a besom, B-E-S-O-M. And it just, again, is used to sweep out negative energy, symbolically, kind of like how the Athames is used to draw a circle symbolically, or cut through energy symbolically. A broom is used to get rid of energy symbolically. Candles are super versatile. They come in all sorts of colors, sizes, literally anything that you could possibly use or possibly need. I love candle magic so much. I probably talk about it way too much. It can be used kind of in setting your intention with color magic and representing your deities on your altar if you choose to do it that way. I know some witches keep statues of their gods, but sometimes that might be hard for you to find one that you really resonate with. So a candle that you light, you're okay, this god is now here, with my working, I'm calling upon you. Just really be sure to practice fire safety with these, so don't leave a candle unattended. The next one is a cauldron, which I think is also kind of an iconic witch thing. So you think about Macbeth and the 3 witches stirring the cauldron of fate or whatever in that Shakespearean play. And sorry, I'm a theater kid, so if you are wondering why I whispered the name of the Scottish play, that's why. A cauldron is basically an iron cauldron, if you think about the shape, with 3 legs, wow, 3 legs, and it's usually really small, so it sits on your altar. I've seen really big ones for covens, but generally speaking, a solitary practitioner has one that's like maybe like that big. And it is used to represent the element of water or the womb. An alternate to this, and what I use, is a chalice. I have a very cool chalice that I got like years ago. And like even before I was like a witch, I just knew I wanted it, and I was like, this is so cool, I like this thing. So I have a pewter chalice, but it is a variant of the cauldron, like I said, and it is used to hold water, wine, depending on the ritual. It kind of just, it is like a bowl thing, right? It's crystals, and we spoke about crystals previously, but I really like keeping crystals on my altar now that I'm starting to work with them, just so they can kind of bring their energy in, and it's a really good representation of the earth element. So there's that. Number 10 are divinatory tools, so that could be tarot cards, runes, a gazing ball, oracle cards, bones, just anything, like a scrying mirror, right? And I tend to use tarot or oracle cards. I know that's like a very popular thing. It's the easiest, I think, and most accessible one, like across any sort of path that you have. There's like tons of different types, like with different art. I love tarot cards. But essentially, each card has a meaning attached, and you divine the future or get the answer to that which you seek based on the meanings of each card. This is another one though that like I struggle with like a little bit. I'm really good at reading cards and like interpreting them, but sometimes I forget like all of the meanings, and it just stresses me out, so I just don't that often. So the next one is herbs. So much like crystals and like what we talked about, these can be used to set your intent as an offering or as an ingredient in your spellcraft, or just like an extra energy on your altar for your craft. The same thing kind of goes for incense or essential oils, or like an oil diffuser. This can kind of like put you in the right headspace to work. I find that when I light, I have a specific incense that I use when I'm working, and I really, really like using it, and it just puts me immediately in the space where I'm like, whew, like I'm ready to, you know, set my intent and shit's gonna happen. So it can also be used to, this incense or oil diffuser can be used to cleanse your space, or like insert energy into your space based on the oil or scent of incense that you choose. Number 13, the pentacle. The pentacle is this, if you can see it, I don't know if you can, it's like the star in a circle, like this symbol of witchcraft basically, which is the 5 elements encircled in a circle. And it's generally represented on like a flat disc. I've seen like clay, wood, metal, and this really represents the element of the earth on the altar. So if you don't have crystals, you can use a pentacle. And then finally, the wand, which is similar to an athame, but associated with the air, the element of air. It is used to direct energy and cast circles. So if that's something that you are interested in, I mean, one of the most popular like images of a witch is literally Harry Potter, and they all have wands and stuff, so it's kind of like, it's similar but different in my mind, but it's still a pretty cool tool. I don't really have one. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel a little bit hokey. I'm like, but it's still really cool, and I've seen some like beautiful wands. Like I think they're really, really gorgeous. I don't know, I might get one. I'm going to the Renaissance Festival this year, like hopefully, like God's willing. So sometimes they have like very cool like magical tools there, and if I pick any up, I will go through and do like a haul. But anyways, that's like months from now. Anyways, as I said earlier, none of these tools are actually like necessary in order for you to practice witchcraft. So no matter what anyone says, like you really don't need those, right? The only thing you need is your like mind, your intention, and like just the will to do things. I want to expand my collection, but I don't want beginners to feel like daunted, like I have to spend all this money to do blah 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 blah, or my magic won't work. And like that's not, literally not true. If you don't have to go to like a metaphysical store to go get herbs. Like you can go to the literal like spice rack aisle in the grocery store. I've done it and it's worked perfectly fine. If you don't have, like the same thing goes for like growing stuff. Like, I am a huge proponent of growing your own herbs, but if you don't have that like ability, it's fine. Like, you just, there's tons of different things you can substitute in if you want to go that route, or truly, literally, all you need is your intent and your will to do things. So, for beginners, I kind of want to know, like, the question of the day for your Book of Shadows is like, what tools are you most drawn to? If you don't have any right now, like, what are you thinking about incorporating, if any? And then for more advanced practitioners who have some tools, like, what tools do you have versus like, what do you want? Because I have a wish list, truly, like, in my brain, and I just want to, they're pretty. I'm a magpie. What can I say? Anyways, tomorrow we are going to delve into a little bit more about deities and deity work, so I'm really excited about that. Thank you for sticking with me, and I'll see you tomorrow.